What's up, guys? It's Joey again. I thought I would get on again today to talk a little bit about these Twin Peaks rumors going on. I will be on, most likely be on Obnoxious and Anonymous later today, but I figured we'd do a short video on this channel just to see what the temperament is of everybody. There seems to be some sort of, I don't know. Some people think it's all BS. Some people think there's fire somewhere. So curious to see as people come into the chat what the temperament is. I'm not saying it is happening. I'm not saying it isn't happening. I'm not saying anything. I'm saying there's just a lot of coincidences. There's something's afoot. If it's new Twin Peaks, great. If it's a book, okay. If it's nothing at all, whatever. We had some fun with it. Moulton says, "Hey." Fuzaki says it's a conspiracy, a burning fire of playing cards? ? Anna says, "Hey, just got in from a gig, and she gonna miss this. Hello." So the rumor mill seems to have spread a little bit. There are these sort of smaller publications popping up with articles about this. Newsweek posted an article earlier today. So it seems like I don't know. I've never seen rumors. I mean, I'm sure there's plenty of rumors for all sorts of stuff that happens in the entertainment biz every day. But in the Twin Peaks sphere, there's news is light. At least over the past couple months, news has been light. So it seems like there's just this quiet. I mean, there is a vocal minority of Twin Peaks fans, myself included, and there's people that post every day, but I think there's just a massive audience out there that's also been, that doesn't interact with the groups or on Twitter with the community. But I think there's a larger Twin Peaks community at Bay that is also catching on to these rumors. And Newsweek put out an article about the rumor, addressing rumors. There's websites all over that have specific rumor sections. To just disseminate rumors, either debunk them or address them, or maybe, publish. If they have a source, they publish the fact. So I'm not totally anti discussing rumors. I think it could be fun if you do it the right way. I don't think totally disregarding a rumor. Really, I mean, you can. To each their own, but I think it could be fun to discuss. I mean, we discussed potential season 4 stuff for the past 2 years, so this is just more of that with the veil, with sort of under the guise of there's this rumor floating around that they're working on it or they have worked on it. There might be more. Maybe there's an announcement coming. Maybe it's nothing. Maybe it is just rumor. Maybe it's just hearsay. Maybe it's somebody with bad information. But I'm not here to say either. I don't know anybody at Showtime. I don't know really anybody that works on Twin Peaks. I don't know, I don't know David Lynch or Mark Frost. But the rumors, there seems to be some credence. There seems to be some common ground. There's something happening. I feel like it wouldn't get this far if it was just nothing. It might be something silly, maybe not a new series, but it totally could be. Could be a movie, whatever. Anna says there's no harm, and Team Coma says it seems kind of legit. I mean, the Michael Horse Instagram post kind of that I said it on Obnoxious and Anonymous last night, but it kind of put me over. I'm like, I mean, because Michael Horse is on, he's on the show. He's Hawk, so. If he's, saying something, maybe he doesn't know, and he's also playing with the rumors. But I feel like if anybody were to know something, it would be somebody that may be attached to the show since day one. Anna says, honestly, I didn't give a second thought to the rumors. However, Kyle's tweet and Michael's Instagram. I'm not so sure about Kyle's tweet. I know people are kind of going in on that, but he does tweet a lot about like sort of donuts and Agent Cooper and stuff like that. And today was coffee day, which I don't think he actually did tweet about, which is interesting. But he did say something about the suit, which I guess you could, it could be. I don't know. Kyle's always kind of just playing around with the Twin Peaks stuff. He never really stopped, especially over the last 3 years. It's been pretty consistent. At least once or twice a day, there's something Twin Peaks up there. Fuzaki says, "I heard Agent Cooper is joining the MCU." I don't know about that. I mean, Disney could probably buy CBS or probably buy Twin Peaks, and he'd be in there with everybody else. And it says true. So yeah, if it is just rumors, it's gone very far. We're also seemingly very desperate as a community because you wait 25 years. I mean, I didn't have to wait 25 years, but a lot of people did. Then you got 18 hours of a new thing, which is almost just as much as the original run. But then you want more, and it seems to be bigger than ever. Twin Peaks. And it was a phenomenon in the 90s, but I think just the sheer number of people it's able to reach now, with it being on Hulu and Netflix, and it's also on Showtime, obviously, and probably CBS All Access. It's just the numbers are probably just way higher than they were before, especially people watching it every day. I'm curious to see how many people are actually watching an episode of Twin Peaks every single day. And I don't think the movies are even on the movies even on streaming yet. So that'd be an interesting number to see as well if it ever gets on a Netflix or something. But I think if you're going to make more Twin Peaks, now is the time. It's like bite the bullet right now. If you want to really have this thing be huge, I'm sure David Lynch and Mark Frost probably want to respect the process, respect the art process and do things their way. And maybe Showtime is going to let them this time and, let them work the way they want to. They're brilliant artists, and they could get the thing done. They can make something incredible if you just let them. And then, Showtime is business. CBS is a business. They want to make money. But maybe they learn, especially after the last thing where David Lynch complained about not being very restricted time-wise, schedule-wise. He didn't have everybody for as long as he wanted to. Maybe they said, if we let this guy work the way he wants to work, he's going to give us something great. And in return, we're going to get something even better out of it. I think Obnoxious and Anonymous posted something about Showtime trying to up their original content over the next few years. So this might fit into that. Twin Peaks is a big... I mean, it doesn't seem like it. It seems like this small thing that it feels like ours. It feels very intimate. I think that's why people are so they get super emotional about it. It feels like it's kind of your thing, and I understand that because I feel the same way. It feels very close to you. And it's the same thing with a lot of other franchises and fandoms and whatnot. So I understand people's apprehension to buying into rumors, and I understand. Trust me, I understand. I don't want to perpetuate bad news, but it's exciting because there might be something at the end of the tunnel. There might be nothing, or it might be something that people aren't really end up not being that excited about. It could be something silly. I don't know, but it's it's meant to be fun. All this is sort of. I don't think anybody's getting hurt by sort of discussing rumors. We're not discussing anybody's personal life. We're not disseminating any personal information. It's about a show. I don't think anybody's getting hurt. I say that with a grain of salt. Hopefully nobody's getting hurt by discussing rumors. Mentine Coma says, I'm not even expecting more. Never have. I just think this whole thing looks legit. It seems like there's something. I don't know what it is. It could just be something that got wildly miscommunicated. It happens a lot, especially with rumors that get passed around, or somebody says something and maybe somebody misinterprets it and it ends up a rumor. But everybody's saying that these people are saying their sources are pretty legit. So that's really all we have to work off of. And then we have Michael Horse's Instagram post, which is interesting to say the least. James Film Studies says favorite Twin Peaks character. That's tough. I mean, you immediately want to go with Cooper, but I'd say if I had to pick anybody besides Cooper, probably Albert. Albert was great. I mean, Miguel Ferrer, R.I.P. Yeah, I would probably go for Albert. I wish I wish you were around to make some more. But especially Albert's role. I mean, he was great in the original run, but Albert's scenes in The Return were fantastic. Especially the scene with the umbrella cracked me up. I think I fell out of my seat. Obviously, Harry. I'd like to see Harry back too, Michael Onkeen. But I think for me, Log Lady, Catherine Coulson, Peggy Lipton's going to be hard. There's just people that are not going to be in it at all because they're gone now. And Peggy Lipton, it's pretty sad. I mean, we don't have Bowie. We can't really. We could do stuff with Jeffries, but we'll see. Jason is here. What's up? Wilton says, "Please stop fueling me with doses of hope." I don't see. This is the thing. I know how it's hard. It's like you don't want to get your hopes up. It's difficult. I mean, I'm trying to. I think who said it? There's somebody put it pretty well. I think it might have been Voltaire actually. Yeah, he's saying cautiously optimistic, and I agree. I feel the same way, because we've got burned before, as we know. There's been sort of rumblings, and there was sort of I don't want to call anything out in particular, but there was hints at it continuing before, and then they kind of died down. But Showtime themselves and Twin Peaks kind of perpetuated that for a long time by having the pop-up shops and the tour and the Comic-Con panel and doing all this Twin Peaks stuff. It seemed like they weren't going to let it end. Maybe they let it die down for a little while, and now they're going to pick it back up. Possibly. I mean, they're still trying to roll out Twin Peaks merch. They have that whole contest going with TeePublic, I believe. Where people could submit their own designs, which they should have been doing from the beginning. That's a different story. To get official, their artist designs made into official Twin Peaks merchandise, which I think is 100% the route they should go. Fantastic, give back to the fans. These fans are dedicated as hell. So it seems like Showtime is still very much invested in Twin Peaks. And it is so much and invested in the Twin Peaks community and Twin Peaks inspired artists. So I think that is a good sign. They haven't given up. They're still very much invested in the brand, at least. And it's sort of like in the 80s and the 90s. The reason people made cartoons was to sell stuff. Basically, it's just one big advertisement. He-Man to sell He-Man action figures, Transformers to sell Transformers. You're gonna get Twin Peaks to sell mugs and T-shirts, and I mean, we're lucky because we'll get the show we love out of it. We're gonna get more of the show we love. But if they're going by that model still to get some back end deal on the merch, I don't know if Lynch or Frost or anybody gets a cut of that. I'm sure they get a piece of the pie, but. Again, it goes back to making money. The entertainment business is about making money, and you have to work with artists to make something huge that'll make Showtime and CBS a lot of money. And I think Twin Peaks is a good vessel for that. It's very much a people that love the show love having the things with the show on it. So I think that is going to be the fuel for more Twin Peaks. I don't think Showtime is going to buy this thing for one time, see how much money it makes it, and say, okay, we're done. I don't want any more money. So I don't think that's going to happen. So that's why that's sort of my logic into thinking there's something that's probably going to happen, and maybe it's going to happen soon. It's been 2 years already since The Return ended. So, I'm sure that the merch money is dwindling a little bit. So a good way to build it back up, get new merch out there. Get it designed by the fans themselves, the fans that are artists, and then just announce everything, announce new merch, announce they have the box set coming out, they have just announce a bunch of new stuff so they can make some cash because that's what they want to do. And then again, money talks in the industry. I hate to go down this road, but it's the truth. Like, if Twin Peaks made Showtime money, they're not going to want that to end. And then they're going to keep wanting it to make them money. And I'm sure Mark Frost and David Lynch want to make some dollars themselves. James Film Study says best monologue in the show's history. I'm referring to Albert. Fuzaki said, "Did you submit a design?" No, I'm not really an illustrator. I do minor graphic design, but I'd love to do some original illustrations. But I'm garbage at illustrating. And Jason says, "I've said it before, but the TP IP matters regardless." Absolutely, absolutely. That's where I think a lot of those decisions get made. Looking at the dollars and cents, views mattered, but like, if Twin Peaks brought in a bunch of Showtime subscribers, which I'm sure it did, and made a ton of money off merch. Twin Peaks fans love their merch, as do most fandoms. They love the merch for the thing they love. If they made a ton of money, again, they don't want to stop if they're making a good amount of money on something. I don't think a business really wants to stop. That's just I feel like business 101. Like, if something works, you don't want to don't fix what's. Yeah. Special Agent Neil Cooper says, "I want a new film, a new season, and a 4K box set. Is that too much?" Probably not. At this point, probably not. We're getting another box set. They should have put out a full 4K box set. Although I know, I believe they only shot it in 2K. I'm not 100%. I always blank on this, but I believe the Return was shot on 2K or maybe like 3K, something like that. But they could up-res a little bit. It wouldn't kill it. But I don't know how true 4K it would be, especially with the Return. The original series could be true 4K. They could scan that original film and get it in 4K. We're getting the pilot in 4K in that big box set, which is going to be, I cannot wait for that. It's going to be gorgeous. But they could, the Return with digital files, it gets weird. A lot of movies that are 4K, that come out on 4K Blu-rays nowadays, are technically they're not real 4K. A lot of them are upscaled, or some of the movies are shot in 6K or 8K now. Then they're downscaled to edit and for movie projectors, or they're downscaled, to show on movie projectors. That some projectors only show 2K. Newer theaters might have a 4K or 6K or 8K setup. Those are thousands of dollars. So maybe an AMC will have it. AMCs usually have that big IMAX room where they show. I'm getting off topic, but I believe they could probably rescan the original run and put it on a 4K Blu-ray. The Fire Walk Me Criterion is, I believe, 4K, or it might be 2K, but that probably could go up to 4K too if they rescan it. So I think the original film scans could go up to 4K, but I think with the Return, they might have to upscale it to 4K. I'm not 100% on this, but I believe it was shot in 2, so they'd have to upscale it a little bit to get into 4K, which means it's not true 4K, but then it's it'll still look great. It'll still look great. James Film Study says Lynch and Frost kept the writing of The Return as a secret for such a long time, and if these rumors have any credence, it comes even close to what The Return achieved. We're in for a damn good treat. Maybe they never stopped writing. Maybe they had more ideas. Maybe they didn't touch on even a fraction of what they wanted to do. It's totally possible that we got so many extended scenes where people thought were filler, because maybe they wanted to keep a lot of the good stuff for to use for a potential season 4. Writing wise, they didn't shoot certain stuff. They have the story. They didn't shoot it because they wanted to. They like their cliffhangers. They want to get They wanted to get Showtime to agree to a season 4 or a movie or 4 and 5. It's totally possible. I mean, I don't know. I'm not in the writers' room with them. I'm not. I don't work for Showtime. I don't work for Lynch Frost at all. So this is all again more theorizing. But it's possible that they had more mapped out. I'm sure they had way more mapped out than was shown in the first 18 hours. Because I feel like it was a lot, but I feel like you don't get to the point where Carrie Page returns to the house after crossing over, and then you're like, oh, okay, I'm good. That's it. I'm done for forever. I feel like there's more. I mean, as a writer, I feel like I'd want to explore that more. And I think I'd explore it in the moment. And like, if you're writing TV, you're gonna cut it off at a certain point. Because I mean, it just makes sense to me that they might have written. Maybe they didn't shoot more, but maybe they might have written more during that, the original writing session for the return, or maybe they have more mapped out. Maybe there's more of a sort of bullet points or a breakdown of what they want to happen. Maybe they didn't flesh it out per se, but maybe they had some other points after Cooper and Laura go back to the house. So they could have had it planned out. Maybe they didn't write it, but maybe they did. I just think that I find it hard to believe that they just stopped where it ended. I mean, writing wise, they just stopped. S. Merck says, could they have been shooting in North Bend a couple weeks ago? It's totally possible. It seems like Salish, the Great Northern, was closed for a couple days. I mean, it's not. Filming is not like it was in the old days. I mean, in 2013, 2014, whenever they shot it, they had a bit of a crew, but things can be done very run and gun, very low key, with the technology we have now. You could get a good 4K camera with excellent cinematic picture, and in this tiny kind of shell, and they could shoot on things like that. And then if you're shooting in a soundstage or a warehouse somewhere, obviously plenty of privacy there. So they could totally shoot things in the cover of night. They could shoot things, just on the fly. They could without any real prep. Maybe they send somebody to scout ahead, make sure the coast is clear or whatever, or have something. A certain time of day they know that there's not gonna be anybody around, so they could just get in there and get the shots they need. And these are all professionals. They've all been in the business for a long time. I think we said last night that. It could be just Laura Dern, it could be Cheryl Lee, it could be Kyle, and it could be David himself as Gordon, maybe a couple others. These people have been in the business a long time. They know what they need to do. They could do it, on a very strict schedule. I know Lynch likes to dream, but if he's dreaming ahead of time and he knows, and he also wants to evade any leaks, I think he'd be up for just sort of strategic filming and very, at this time we're going to get these shots. Because we don't want anything to leak, and then you could have room to get Dreamy maybe somewhere else, or maybe he gets Dreamy. Maybe when he went up there himself, loud car. Yeah, but when Peter Deming went up, he probably could have scouted some specific location. I mean, I don't know. This is all just theorizing and whatnot. Jason says. FWIW, I believe there's a show Bible, possibly. In other words, someone has scribed a series of rules and story arcs. I think I think that's totally possible. I think they're, when they map out seasons of shows, they don't use everything, but sometimes they map it out way ahead so that they know where things are going in future seasons. I don't know if they did that with this because, it is a limited series, but they, I think this was a long-term investment from the get-go. That's just my thought. Twin Peaks is a big name. It feels small, but it is a big name. It is a recognizable name. People that haven't watched the show still know the name Twin Peaks. I mean, I've talked to plenty of people that are. I say Twin Peaks, and I'm like, oh, that's that weird show, right? so people know the name. It has name recognition. Um, Vincent Coma says a movie taking place only in Dutchman's Black Lodge and the White Lodge would be cool. I mean, they could totally recreate. They have exteriors from The Return. I'm sure they shot more. They probably just sat there to see what kind of lighting they could get. I mean, you could time that kind of stuff, but there's a scene at the sheriff's station where the light is just like coming perfectly, and it's so warm and like almost hazy through the trees over the sheriff's station. Now, I don't know if that's a composite. I don't think so, but that kind of shot takes patience and a lot of just keep it rolling kind of thing. So I'm sure they have plenty of exteriors. They could reuse a lot of that stuff if they wanted to. They might have already shot some new stuff or new angles or whatever. It depends what season it takes place in. The lighting is just different. It all factors in. But if it takes place in another timeline or another version of Earth or whatever, weather could be pretty innocuous. It could not matter. You could have a hazy day and a sunny day and a cloudy, whatever. But that's all stuff to consider. And I think when they filmed The Return, especially the scenes in Twin Peaks, it did seem very dreamy. There was a lot of sort of like soft, warm sunlight. Maybe till the end when Mr. C comes to town, it seems like the light is a little harsher. It seems like they're working with heavy sunlight. I don't know. Again, I could just work off what I've seen on behind the scenes stuff and just what I know about filming and production, whatnot. But I think it's totally possible they could have shot stuff already. I feel like I'm rambling now. I just don't think it's as unbelievable as it might seem. I think it's totally possible that they either filmed stuff already, they are filming stuff, or they're going to, or they're not. But it's not like totally out of the realm of possibility that they're doing more, or they are already did. But it's all very exciting either way. And even if this means nothing, that doesn't mean nothing is ever going to happen. Also, just keep that in mind. This, the rumors could be they could be a dud, but that doesn't totally mean it's just never going to happen, because it could still very much happen, even if this rumor doesn't give way to anything, or if nothing is announced in the next couple days or weeks. But keep the hope alive. Either way, I know some people don't want to get their hopes up, but I mean, I feel like if you're kind of playing in the realm, if you're kind of looking at things, there's a little bit of hope in you for more. And some people lash out, and some people embrace it, and some people stay sort of stay a little cynical, which is fine. But this has just been interesting and fun overall. I'm curious to see how much more things flesh out in the next couple of days. It's gonna be interesting to see what comes of it. Maybe nothing, maybe a lot of something, or maybe just a little something. We'll see. Anyway, I think I'm gonna drop it there. I'll most likely be on Obnoxious and Anonymous tonight, so subscribe to this channel, subscribe to that channel. I get the reminders. I hope I could talk to you guys soon about more Twin Peaks. We'll see. Maybe we'll talk about how the rumor wasn't true at all, and what the future might hold anyway. So thank you guys for watching. I appreciate the bunch of you that are in here. I hope we get good news. That's all I could really say. I hope we get some good news. Anyway, I hope everybody had a great Tuesday, and I shall see you tonight, or if I'm not seeing you tonight, I'll see you very soon. See you later.